Thank you very, very much for coming to the 2024 BREW 2.0 cohort. So we really are very glad that you're able to join us. I'm glad also that all the people in the back are starting to move up here for church, and so that's fantastic. Thank you very much for doing that. So my name is Dean Amhouse, and I'm the president and CEO of the Water Council. As I've sort of said, and people hear this today in the last few days, I work for Cann. She's telling me everything that I need to do when it comes to this cohort. This cohort's been meeting for several months now. This is the first week when they are together in person. I had a little bit of a snippet yesterday afternoon to be able to see some of the practicing that they're doing and their training that they're occurring to perfect their pitches for you today. So we're really pleased to be able to have them here from all over the world and making really their job and their effort to improve water conditions across the entire world. It is something that we believe in as an organization, very committed to in terms of making fresh water available for everybody here. I do want to thank our sponsors also, and Karen's going to recognize them more appropriately. But without our sponsors, none of this would be possible, as well as our members that we have that help us day in and day out. So I want to thank all of them. And also to say, we will be having a reception after this presentations because it's our 15th anniversary. It's amazing that it's been that long in terms of where we've gone and where we've come from that period. And so I want to turn it over to Karen, who is going to run the rest of the show.
All right. Well, thank you again for all of you being here. We are so excited about hearing from, sorry about that, hearing from these 8 global companies today. And as Dean said, we really couldn't do this program and offer this program and support these great entrepreneurs without the support of our sponsors. So we do have those here with us today. Beckhoff Automation, Xylem, and Thales Water Advisors is a programmatic sponsor. And then Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is a sponsor of the demo day. So I just wanted to invite each one of them up on stage to just give a really brief remark about why they're invested in the BREW, why they're interested in the work of the Water Council. So I'll start with Jesse with Beckhoff.
Thanks, Karen. So Beckhoff Automation, we're an automation and controls technology company based in Germany, and really innovative company. And we were founded by Hans Beckhoff about 44 years ago. And Hans has the saying, it's real prominent. You'll see it at our trade show booths. And it's that engineers must save the world. He really believes in that. And so that's kind of the spirit and why we're here sponsoring this, is we want to invest in engineers that are doing things to save the world, whether it's water scarcity, environmental factors, whatever it might be. So we really believe in that. Also, we do kind of feel we are the most technologically innovative automation company in the world. And so in that spirit, we want to support future innovators. So that's why we support the Water Council. That's why we support BREW. We're happy.
Cool. Bree, thank you so much for coming. I think you just flew in today. So we're delighted that you're here with us. And Xylem actually was gracious to host us for a dinner last night with our startup company. So we'll let Bree introduce herself and why Xylem is working with the BREW.
Sure, thanks. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Bree Nakamura with Xylem. We are a Fortune 500 water technology company. We do everything from treat, transport, and sense water quality. We are very happy to continue to support BREW 2.0 and the Water Council. One of the teams that I work on at Xylem is called Xylem Innovation Labs, and our goal is to really drive growth and innovation both at Xylem and in the water space through corporate partnerships with startups like the ones that are here today. So really looking forward to support programs like this that are really helping us in terms of scouting and funneling and learning more about what's happening in the space. So excited to learn more about the companies today.
Thank you again. And last but not least, I'd like to invite Mike from Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation to the stage. WEDC has been a close working partner of the Water Council for many years, and we're delighted that they are also a sponsor for us for the BREW, for the demo day.
Thanks, Karen. I am Mike Ward from the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. I'm the Vice President for the Business and Community Division. We're also known as WDC. And I would say WDC is not only proud to sponsor, but actually I would use the word grateful, and grateful for the work that the Water Council does. Whether it's representing our state internationally at conferences, bringing home an NSF innovation engine for us, supporting our water cluster here at home, and even just being a thought leader on clean water. We really value the partnership. So we're glad to be here. I'm actually very grateful to be at this event because I'm looking forward to hearing from all the firms today and what they're up to. So glad to be here, glad to be a sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, before we get started on the pitches, I just wanted to also introduce the fact that our format today will be that we'll hear from pairs of water technology companies. So we'll hear 2 pitches, and then we're going to have some questions that a panel of reviewers is going to ask of the 2 previous pitchers. And so I'd love to introduce you to those individuals who are serving as reviewers. So Jesse, as you already met, he's serving as a reviewer. And we also have Missy Cann, who is a seasoned longtime water professional working in the industry. And also, yes, Bill Dugan, who is a BREW coach and has worked with us since the inception of the BREW. So we'll invite you to go ahead and cross over and take your seat, and then I will kick us off. So how many have been to a demo day before or know about the BREW? And I'm trying to see hands, but some of you, many of you. Well, I'm delighted to have folks return. But for those that don't know about the program, BREW is a post-accelerator. We've actually held an accelerator program for the Water Council since 2013. And in 2019, we actually pivoted to a post-accelerator. So we realized after talking to many water technology entrepreneurs that there were a lot of accelerator programs, with universities, community offered them. There were so many, both industry and non-industry specific, but there was really no what's next. So for those entrepreneurs that were ready, they have their product, they've been selling into the market, they're ready to scale, but they need that what's next program that's focused on the needs of young companies. That's what we created. And so we built a custom program for those companies that's part virtual and then a week in person in Milwaukee to really bring together and leverage all of you, our partners and our resources and our deep industry experts to help come alongside and to matchmake. I mean, I think it's a big benefit to our member companies that you get to meet the likes of these companies that are participants in the BREW. You get to serve as initial reviewers when we're going through the competition. So it's a great opportunity now to invite you to see the culmination of that. So today we're going to hear from 8 companies, and they are, Dean mentioned that they're from around the world. We have 1 company from Ireland and a company from France, 2 companies from Canada, and the rest are from the US. So you can see all of their logos on the screen here. We're going to be hearing from them in sets of 2. I'm going to, just to give you kind of a flavor, we're going to hear from Advanced Treatment Technologies, Water Energy Solutions, technologies that are looking at new business models and more. We're going to kick off with Tracy. Tracy has an advanced treatment technology treating the toughest industrial waste and being able to provide clean water from that heavily contaminated waste. So Tracy, please kick us off and tell us about Avivid.
Please click on. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Kessler, and I am the Vice President of Business Operations for Avivid Water Technology. We're located in Longmont, Colorado, and we are putting a new spin on water treatment. So, since I'm in a room filled with water professionals, I don't have to talk to you about the fact that we know that water is a problem. Clean water all around the world is an issue. And I probably don't have to tell you that 80% of all wastewater globally enters our rivers and streams without ever having been treated. These things are terrible. However, what you may not know is that 18 billion gallons of acid mine drainage is produced every year within the US from hard rock mines. And that is entering all of our rivers and streams and killing off fish that are within those rivers. 16 million gallons of landfill leachate are created every year generated at our landfills. And it's very difficult to clean. It's very nasty water. It smells just how you imagine. And it's currently being nominally treated before it gets sent off to local wastewater treatment plants, essentially handing that problem off to downstream groups. What if, however, you could clean that landfill leachate, taking it from the very black water that you see to the far left in that lovely jar, all the way to clean enough to then be released. And not only can you clean up that water, you can also remove PFAS from it as well. What if that acid mine drainage water that you saw, which was a beautiful shade of orange, filled with iron and zinc and many other things that no one actually wants to be in the water, what if you could clean that water up? And if you're in the mining industry, what if you wanted to gather that material back up again and create a new revenue stream, which we can do from our waste material? You can do all of that with our system without chemicals. It's a low maintenance system. It's self-cleaning. We made it easy to maintain as well. It produces 90% less waste than the current standard treatment process for lime, for example. And it does all of that very quickly. That is Avivid Water's creation, the triple patented turbo coag reactor. It works on the principles of electrocoagulation. If you go back to your high school science, it's essentially electrolysis. We're putting electricity through a consumable anode within the water itself. We're releasing pure metal ions, which then replace the chemicals that you typically use to treat that water. And then it clumps together with all of the oppositely charged pollutants that are within the water itself, and then they drop out. Then that goes down and is removed elsewhere. Not only that, our benefits are many, not least of which is the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, we produce 10 times less waste than current typical lime treatment from mine water. Less waste, in turn, means you need less CapEx for the machines that you would need downstream. Since, with mining water in particular, we could in turn gather up those critical minerals, if they're in there at a significant concentration, we can then recover those. So not only do you get to treat your wastewater itself, you produce a lot less physical solid waste, and then you have water you can release. These markets are huge. The US wastewater market is about $113 billion for chemical treatment. Within that market, the submarkets that we're looking at in particular are landfill leachate and mining, where we would be replacing lime. And that's $5 billion together. We would do this, we would grab that part of the market through direct unit sales, water as a service, and we would provide recurring revenue through our consumable aluminum anodes that we use. And one of the key things to keep in mind is that once one of our systems is in place, it's there from anywhere from 5 to 30 years. Our systems and our traction is picking up speed. Right now, as we speak, we have our naval aviation facility that we will be installing in September. We have water that we just treated from a landfill that's having a hard time in California that we expect to hear back from, I believe, next week. And at the end of this week, we'll hear, and I'm feeling very positive about, a paid pilot in mining in Colorado. Our team is small but mighty, and we have the ability to get it done. Please see me afterwards if you are interested in helping us clean up water. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy. So the next company is Gross-Wen Technologies, and Gross-Wen has reinvented the way that pollutants are actually captured, right, in wastewater, and these nutrients are able to be reused. So let's hear from Jens and what Gross-Wen Technologies is doing.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jens Dancer, and I'm the Director of Engineering for Gross-Wen Technologies. Gross-Wen Technologies, or GWT, is an algae-based wastewater treatment company. We utilize algae to recover nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus from wastewaters. This is different than conventional bacteria or chemical-based processes. The challenge we're trying to solve is that the cost for upgrading our wastewater treatment facilities is incredibly costly for nutrient removal. Across our nation, our waterways face environmental challenges due to excessive nutrient runoff. This causes issues like the Gulf epoxy zone you see on the top left. To combat this issue, our regulators issue permits to our municipalities to create very complicated and sophisticated wastewater treatment facilities. Upgrading these facilities for nutrient removal is a very costly process. Cities such as the city of Chicago will face over $500 million to upgrade their facilities for nutrient removal. And small facilities like where we're based in Slater, Iowa, home to just 2,000 people, face over $6 million to upgrade their plants. How do we solve this? Our solution is the revolving algal biofilm system, or simply the RAB system. This system utilizes rotating algae belts that remove the nutrients from the wastewater. This reduces the cost to upgrade these facilities for nutrient removal. Additionally, we're able to utilize that algae and recover it and process it as a fertilizer. This creates a circular economy for our nutrients. Additionally, our process is less energy than conventional processes, which reduces the energy usage at those facilities, also reducing the carbon footprint at those plants. This is a video of our first commercial installation in Slater, Iowa. You can see a series of rotating conveyor belts growing algae on the surface of those belts. As the algae grow, they're picking up the nutrients, the nitrogen and phosphorus from the wastewater. Once those algae have grown to a desired thickness for us, we remove it from this system by simply scraping it off the belt, just like this. It's a very low energy process to remove it.
Right.
The technology was invented in 2012 at Iowa State University by our two co-founders, and since then we've had 11 patents issued around our technology. We've completed over 40 projects across our nation and internationally, and today we've got 25 world-class employees in engineering, scientists, and research focus. We've done over $20 million in grant funding to help develop the technology, which has allowed us to gather over 10,000 data points validating that the system works. That data we use to achieve regulation compliance. And then we've done over $14 million in construction to date, and we've got another $27 million of projects under design. Our business model is that we sell our equipment to our customers as a capital sale, and then we also offer recurring revenue models for maintenance and service contracts, algae offtake agreements, as well as generating carbon credits for our customers. Like I mentioned, we've done over 40 projects across the nation. You can see most of them have been central to Iowa, where we're based out of, but we're rapidly expanding and are looking to do more projects in the future. Our customers have been both municipal and industrial customers, and so it's about 50% municipal, 50% industrial for us. And we sell in 4 market verticals for nutrient removal. So we're hoping to address 1.2 billion of the total 7.5 billion total addressable nutrient removal market for wastewater treatment. And we sell in 4 market verticals that allow us to sell to a diverse array of customers. We've developed a very robust pipeline of over $730 million that we're currently tracking worth of projects. And that has allowed us to funnel these projects and get more projects to the approval and into the construction phase. And we've experienced rapid growth. This year, we're expected to do $15 to $20 million in sales, and we're hoping that we're planning that will continue to grow in the future here, getting close to $100 million in 2028. And we are seeking an additional $10 to $20 million for a Series B investment. This will allow us to continue to grow organically and grow our business with our existing customers, as well as seek strategic partnerships with water industry leaders. Thank you very much for your time, and please reach out if you want to know more about algae.
We're going to turn now to questions by our reviewers. So I'm going to give a microphone to Tracy as well. And we'd love for our reviewers to ask some follow-up questions and enlighten the audience additionally and ask a few more questions of our participants.
So I'll start off. Direct a question to Tracy. Tracy, electrocoagulation's been around for a while as a technology. So can you talk about the ways in which this particular value proposition extends or advances that particular type of technology?
I'd be happy to. Electrocoagulation, as you mentioned, has been around since the late 1800s. There's two main reasons why it hasn't taken off in all of these years. It's basically in the engineering of it. It has a problem with passivating. The system will stop working because the anodes themselves will get coated in goo, essentially. And then sludge will build up within the reactor itself. Our patented system with its rotating anodes and self-cleaning setup makes it so neither of those things happen. It's built on the concept of a Tesla pump. So flat anodes rotating rapidly and nothing leaves it dirty.
So continuing on, Tracy, can you talk a little bit about the technology's effectiveness to, as you said, sequester PFAS? But on that point, does the technology actually destroy PFAS molecules, or does it simply sequester them?
So that is a really great distinction. We don't destroy PFAS. What we will do is we'll remove it from the water itself, and it will be contained within our sludge material. That, in turn, can be handed off to a different technology that could destroy it. The water afterwards being cleaned enough, going downstream, can go through additional kinds of treatments that would clean up anything that might be left in the water at that point. So we're essentially a heavy-duty pretreatment.
I think heavy-duty pretreatment is a good mindset based upon the concerns around life cycle of PFAS and how your technology fits in that chain.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah.
Commercial question for Jens. So you showed a pretty impressive sales funnel there. So I'm curious though, how long does it take to close the sale or move from the top of the funnel to the bottom? Because that's kind of the devil's in the details as you're trying to scale up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So timelines for water projects can be a very lengthy process, as some of you are probably already aware. So for us, for some of our very fast moving projects, we may see projects go from initial proposal to purchase order in around a year's time to develop that project and get it ready for construction. But for a lot of municipal projects, it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years for us to really move them through that process and through the funnel. So it takes several years.
Jens, this question is also for you. Kind of continuing on that point, you mentioned that the technology began really in 2012 based upon its creators. What has been the biggest barrier to market thus far?
Yeah, one of our biggest barriers was just getting it to commercial scale. So although the technology began in 2012 and was starting to get some patents issued around it, the real core commercially viable product was not truly ready until around 2016, 2017. Okay. And so it took a while. About half of our infancy was just getting the first proof that the technology can work for water treatment, although we did not have a commercially viable product. And so one of our key partners is actually our manufacturer. So they help us to manufacture, to design and manufacture a commercially viable product that we're using today.
Great, thank you.
So Tracy, can you unpack this resource recovery value proposition a little bit and talk about how that sort of fits into the cost reduction and or like revenue stream aspect of your business model?
Certainly. So if you are a mine owner, for example, you need to treat the water, whether it's direct process water, whether it's your tailings pond water, or whether it's if you're the owner of a legacy mine and that water is acid mine drainage that's draining out of it, you need to clean up that water. Current practices generally involve lime, which involves a large amount of waste because of the typical lime process. I won't get into that. That's a whole other pitch deck. What we can do is when we are treating that material with our aluminum anodes, we're putting pure aluminum ions into the water. And the vast majority of the material that then comes out, including the aluminum we put in, half of that material is going to be the metals that are in the water. The other half will essentially be inert objects, which are, silica, dirt, and the like. That material can then go off to a smelter, and anything of interest to you can be recovered from that.
Good.
Oh, and I'm sorry. The part around the capex reduction would then be like once you're removing the sheer volume of waste material, then you no longer need all of the equipment downstream that has to be that large to deal with it.
Tracy, continuing with you, just curious, so you showed some different applications. Is there a particular type of water that your technology works best?
So we like really dirty water. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. We are not a good solution for drinking water, for example, because that water is too clean. But water that truly is colorful, if you want to put it that way, is the best kind of water. Water with heavy metals, oils, grease, and the like is the best kind of water for us. So that's where landfill leachate and mining are the best. So for us to fix.
I think you did a really nice job in your presentation highlighting those two particular water streams. You also talked about different market segments. Thus far, are you finding one market segment or maybe a couple of those, like the four you mentioned? Are there any that are more attractive to you at this point?
At the moment, the one that looks like it's about to absolutely take off is landfill leachate. New regulations are coming online, the pressure from regulators to get PFAS out of the water, the fact that POTWs, the publicly owned treatment works, do not want to take landfill leachate is putting the onus on the landfill owners to be able to treat at their facilities. And everything that we can do to help them get their water ready to go to the POTWs will help them. And now is the time.
Great. Thank you. All right, to sub for this one.
This is the last one?
Nope.
Okay.
Come find us afterwards. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, the good thing is that we go into your reception. There's lots of time for conversation. So sorry to cut that off. But our second set of pitches are looking at energy creation and energy optimization. And while BREW has not typically had this audience or these types of participants in our program, this is definitely something that we heartily welcome in because we know that water and energy nexus is so important. So we're going to hear first from Roisin, off in the shadows. Please join us. So GKinetic Energy has created a technology that generates electricity from flowing water. So she's going to talk to us about their solution and what their goals and ambitions are.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone. We are GKinetic Energy. We believe it should be simple and affordable to generate clean, reliable electricity from all waterways. We have developed a unique range of hydrokinetic turbines that do exactly that. Just to get a bit of education out of the way, hydrokinetic simply means the natural kinetic energy that you find in any flowing water source. What's unique about this range of solutions is that it's a drop-and-go solution. You just put it in, it instantly generates power. We don't need dams or any disruptive civil infrastructure. So my own name is Roisin. I am the COO and co-founder at GKinetic. I'm joined here today by Vincent. He's our CEO and founder. And in the middle is Gary, our CTO, who drew the short straw. So he's back home building turbines. So we're a highly motivated, very passionate team. We have a lot of experience between us. And we are looking to set up our first international office here in the US. And we're absolutely thrilled to be here. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So the clean energy transition is upon us. And in particular, the area of distributed and locally owned energy sources is booming. Last year, 75% of new renewable energy generation capacity, that's a mouthful, but I hope you get what I mean, came from solar. So the small but mighty solar panel, the average solar panel puts out 400 watts. We get kickback all the time. Oh, your machine only does a couple of kilowatts. Solar has led the way. These technologies, when rolled out at scale, are transformative, and they are transforming. Our energy landscape is moving. The flip side of this is the International Energy Agency has projected that even if we roll out all the solar and wind possible, and that's really ambitious, we get it all done, by 2050, we're still going to have a 45% gap in energy generation. This is a big upcoming problem. The flip side of this, we have 3,000 estimated gigawatts. It's a massive amount of energy in our waterways. In Wisconsin alone, there are 84,000 miles of rivers, and that's an untapped energy source that we need to be using. And we've come up with a really fantastic solution. We're very proud of it. We've put 10 years of work into it, 11 patents. We've done 7 full-scale deployments. And this is a really serious piece of kit. So it goes into any free-flowing water source, and based on our most recent pilot, we're outputting up to 4 times as much power as the next leading competitor. We have a really unique design that has like an intentional obstacle in the middle of it, so similar to the pillar of a bridge. So what actually happens is it deflects water out and around it. So we're the only design that actually does that, most sucks the water in through it. What it means is it's incredibly safe, it's environmentally friendly, it deflects debris, wildlife, and we put a huge amount of work and effort into the materials that we use to make sure that it truly is a positive impact product. The value that we know that this now offers from so many discussions with customers is it's energy you can depend on. It's always on, through the night, through the winter. To put into context just how energy efficient it is, a 50 kilowatt solar installation will put out on average about 42,500 kilowatt hours in a year. A 50 kilowatt GKinetic turbine installation will put out 395,000 kilowatt hours in a year. It's 9 times as much power. I can't ever say that without kind of laughing. It's incredible. It's a tiny footprint, less cost, really power dense. So we are doing quite well. We're filling up our first commercial pilots in Europe, and we see the US as a huge market for us. We are here today looking for sales and distribution partners who are looking to get into this really exciting new energy area. We're looking for $500,000 investment to help us get set up here in the States and get our sales and marketing processes in place. And we're looking for a partner who is up for a challenge and would like to work with us on our first US pilot. At the very least, if someone thinks, oh, John or Mary would be interested in that, please do introduce us to any relevant contacts or roles. And then further down the line, we're going to need manufacturing partners, operations and maintenance partners, and we do plan a Series A round towards the end of next year. So yeah, with that, I just want to say thank you so much for your attention, and a huge thank you to Karen and the Water Council. This is such an amazing opportunity, and we're really grateful for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Roisin. So next, I'm sure all of you, being in the water industry, are aware of the energy demands of water and wastewater, and especially in all the processes that rely on energy, especially motors. And so Simon with Smart D is going to talk with us about his innovation in terms of optimizing energy from motors.
Good talk.
Thank you, Karen. So, as Karen just said, I'm Simon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SmartD, and I will talk to you today about variable frequency drivers. But before I tell you what exactly that is, let's take a step back and talk about electric motors. You might not have noticed, but today you actually interacted with multiple electric motors. If you took an escalator or an elevator, that was actioned by electric motors. In a building like this, the air that flows, those are fans, that's electric motors. And of course, the water industry, pipes, again, electric motors. When you add all of these electric motors back to back, that amounts to almost half of the world's electricity. That is huge. And electric motors are on-off device. If you put electricity on them, they go full speed. That's by design. And so if you want to control the speed of these electric motors, whether it is to save energy or because of the process you need a device called a variable frequency drive. This is what we make, and it's a great innovation that's been around for over 40 years. By recreating an electrical signal, it enables to control fully the speed of the motor. In that way, you save energy. But there's a catch. By recreating that signal, it actually creates a very dirty electric signal, both to the motor and to the grid. So other equipment on the grid are impacted by that. And the motor itself, its lifespan is deteriorated, and it's more noisy, it has more heat, more vibration. It's not operating as it should be. The industry to address this, I had a very nice Band-Aid picture here, but it's not there. So the industry for that has applied a lot of Band-Aids. It's not addressed the fundamental issue of that electrical signal being noisy. So whether it's filters to protect the grid or the motor, increase insulation in the cables going to the motor, or increase insulation in the motor itself, all of these can increase the cost up to 4x the cost of the VFD itself. This is where we come in. Again, my beautiful Band-Aid is not there. Anyways, we remove those Band-Aids. We bring it all into our VFD. So all these filters are miniaturized by a factor of 200 and brought directly in the drive, so that you have a clean signal at the input and a clean signal at the output. That means you have a smaller footprint for your solution, you have smooth operations, you have a simple install. Now I can tell you about smooth operations, but I suggest we hear about it. No, it's not very loud, but you can see the 81, that's the decibel coming out of the motor because of that square voltage signal. Now we send a clean signal to the motor, and instantly you saw that sound go down by 10 decibel. And if you could touch the motor, you could actually feel it is 10% cooler as well. All of that are energy savings, but all of that is also expanding the life of the motor. It's like your motor is crying because of your VFDs today. So on one side, you can make your motor cry and vibrate, overheat, early failures. You can oversize your equipment because of that. Or you can use our Clean Power VFD, have a completely clean sine wave, have quieter operations, no external equipment, and really a lower total cost of ownership and of operations. We've been working on this for 6 years. We have a team of over 40 people right now working on this, both on engineering, manufacturing, supply chain. We have 4 great investors, 2 from the industry with Hammond Power Solution and Schneider Electric Ventures. And this product is certified, being sold from coast to coast at distributors across the country. You can buy them today. If you want to know more, come and see us. Come and see me at the end of the presentation, and we can talk how we can seamlessly integrate into your facilities. Anywhere you have electric motors, we have an application and can help.
This question is for GKinetic, and can you talk a little bit about your revenue model and over the course of your product development, how you've really landed on making money?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't actually made money yet. We're hoping to very soon, but it's a good question because we're really happy in the last 6 months, especially. We do have our first customer projects coming up, and we have worked a lot on the revenue model. So we are basically selling energy, and what we're doing in Ireland and what we're looking to replicate here is where you actually just find one customer, then you find multiple other customers in that same region. So what you do then is you get them to sign up to like a group PPA. So you're essentially just going to them saying, you've got this fantastic resource right alongside you. Would you like to sign up to, a really competitive energy price, and it's clean energy and you own and control it? And the answer is a resounding yes. So we've gotten really good traction with that. And it also just is a way more attractive revenue model. So our first customer in Ireland, that's worth €50,000. And that's just one unit going into a domestic site. What's exciting for us is since we've been going to that customer and doing the site assessments and getting everything ready, because in Ireland, everyone talks about everything. So now we've got a farm across the road who's saying, well, if you put that one in and we like the look of it, we're going to take 3 of them. And down the road is a really famous resort that's actually hosting the Ryder Cup. And we've been out there and they're potentially going to take 55 units. So literally within a 3-mile stretch, we've got 2.9 million euros of revenue lined up.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is you are modeling out word of mouth and success, kind of selling it for you in some regard because those benefits are so significant.
Yeah, and we're kind of getting rid of some of the blockers because we were like originally we were like selling the equipment.
Yeah.
And the customers didn't want to know about that. Like they just want energy. That's what we're selling to them. So yeah.
Rasheen, can you give a kind of a general estimate of production costs for one of these systems?
No, I can give that to you directly, but yeah, it's really, really competitive. We're really proud of that. So we're going to have seriously good margins, but it's not something I want to publicly disclose. But come on,
Accept it. Yeah, Roisin, question for you. So you mentioned why you're here to build a distribution sales kind of channel here in the States. What does that ideal kind of distribution partner look like? Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, it's someone I suppose who knows, who's not afraid to work in and around waterways and is familiar with that environment and who would know maybe the regulatory, the kind of hurdles that we're going to come up against in that and who would have the resources, I suppose. So companies who are actively dedicating resources to innovation, supporting clean tech, that want to show tangible results to reducing carbon. Yeah, literally all of those things we would tick the boxes and just someone who would like the challenge. So we do have one partner, Tarashima, so they're a multinational pump manufacturer and that's working really well. So basically they're going out bidding for new plant builds and they're now as part of the design of what pumps they're going to put in, they're also saying, oh, and you could put in 80 GKinetic turbines all on your outflow channel and so it's exactly that type of model where it just complements what you're doing.
Karen, how are we on time?
You have time for 5 more questions.
Sure, I got one in mind. So Simon, a lot of these other folks have presented examples of sort of success case studies. Can you give us an example of something that you've done that is a good example?
Well, we've done very diverse deployments from deployments on farms, a lot of buildings for low harmonics from California to Quebec municipalities. Actually, this week, Toshiba showcased a product that was very similar to ours. So that is also exciting and other opportunities. So
thanks.
Thank you.
We will.
All right. Well, the next pair of presenters is going to talk to us about water insights. And I think that has been something that we continue to see in the water industry about real-time water quality or quantity analysis or infrastructure insights or microorganisms, right? So detecting water quality parameters. And so our next presenter is Sam Ducan from Diamidex, and he's going to be talking with this.
Oh, you big hat. Take that to me.
Yes, it is Sam.
Okay.
No, it's not. You were right. It's Nico. I beg your pardon.
I told you what you would.
No. Nico, where have you been? Please join me. All right. So Nico is going to talk with us about his solution looking at underground infrastructure and his intelligent pipe assessment. So please take it away.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Nicolas Fortin-Saint-Gelais. I'm the co-founder of Cann Forecast, and we are based in Montreal. So this picture is a water main break that happened in Montreal a couple of years ago. I have to admit, it's a big one, but this is a situation that is way too common. And it represents every day in North America, more than 150 water main breaks happening today, tomorrow. And it represents, at the end of the year, more than 3 billion in repairs. Of course, those are big numbers, but what does it mean for an average utility? And so if you're a medium utility, it means that each year you're going to experience 500 water main breaks, which will represent 5 million in direct repair costs. And indirect costs are 4 times that. And it means that on average, you lose 25% of the water you're producing because of breaks and leaks. And so big part of the problem is that when we replace assets like pipes, we prioritize assets based on their theoretical remaining useful life. So we say usually we replace oldest pipe, but there's many other factors that affecting the degradation of the pipe in the ground. And this is what we're doing. So we developed IntelliPipes. So IntelliPipes is an AI-driven software to identify where are the vulnerable pipes. So we're going to use many factors. So here we have a pipe. We know it was installed on major roads. It's in a corrosive soil. In the past 5 years, there was 5 breaks, and the diameter is 30 centimeters. So what we do is that IntelliPipes is going to use all that information to be able to generate first, what is the likelihood of failure? So we can really identify precisely, okay, for example, for that pipe, I have a 5% likelihood of failure in the next year. But not only what is the likelihood of failure, but if I get a failure, what is the consequence? So for example, here we were able to estimate that if I get a failure, I should get the shutdown time of 6 hours. Of course, if there's an hospital or in a school, there's a big impact. So this is also a very useful information. And also, if I get a leak, what is the leak flow? So what's the risk of having a flood in the area? And so based on that likelihood and consequent failure, it really helps utilities to better prioritize where I should be placed to minimize break and impact of those breaks on the population. And we're really proud to say, so we're from Montreal. And so we've helped more than 35 municipalities in Eastern Canada with IntelliPipe. We've impacted so far the total population of over 8 million inhabitants. And all of those customers are paid customers. And so because we were able to do some pilot project, now we really have the number to show what's the difference of using these age-based method compared to the IntelliPipe. So this is the result from a medium utility. Actually, this is a small utility. And so you can see that there, the number of breaks that were avoided with the age-based method would have been 2 breaks, while using IntelliPipe, they were able to avoid 20 breaks. So it's a 10-time improvement on the age-based method, and a similar pattern was observed in 2020. So it's really a big improvement. And for that small utility, it represents over a year saving of over 200,000 in direct repair costs. So it really makes a big impact on that utility. And so this is one example, but by doing these pilot projects, we did pilot project with the City of Montreal, Midland, also the Peel project. And so what we observed is that on average, IntelliPipes is up to 12 times more accurate at identifying which pipe we need to replace in the distribution system. And as I mentioned, on average, this represents $54,000 per 100 kilometers of network of saving in direct repair costs, 4 times that in direct repair costs, and also energy saving and water saving. And something I forgot to mention, but I present here mainly for the water distribution system, but now we also use IntelliPipe for drinking water, wastewater, and road replacement, because every asset at the same cost. And so I just presented, so we have many customers in Eastern Canada. For us, the challenge over the next 12 months is really for geographical expansion. So what we want to do is be able to really get to new markets. And we have 3 main priorities. Of course, working direct with utilities, direct to consumer. That was an initial strategy, and it worked very well for us. So it was important to know the customer and work directly with them. We're also looking for established national and regional partners, strategic partners that can help us entering these new markets. And also, as always, we're always looking to innovate for innovation partner, innovative companies, and research institutions to really push further what we've developed. So thank you very much for your time. If you have questions, it's a pleasure. And thanks to the Water Council for the opportunity.
So did I mention that there's a company also working on microbiological detection? Oh, I did. He's right here. So Sam, we would love to hear more about your solution from Diamidex.
So everybody is able to understand to hear me correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so I turn up to have a microphone.
Enough, querido.
So this right here. So, hello everybody. So I'm Sam Ducamp. I'm coming from France, so sorry for my accent. I will try to do my best to speak English. It's okay. So I'm coming from France, and our goal is to become the future gold standard of the microbial testing solution. Okay, so, and I will start with one example, and the first one is Legionella pneumophila. The Legionella pneumophila is a pathogenic bacteria that is involved for the Legionnaires disease. So it's very strange, It's a bacteria that loves hot water, and it grows very well in hot water. But when you take your shower, you generate some droplet, and this droplet may carry, Legionella inside, and you breathe them, and you are infected by these microbes that grow on your lungs, and you become sick, and you may die. And there are more than 10% of the people that contract the disease that die due to the microbes, because the microbes grow in the lungs, and you have some serious health problem. So in US, it's the second most expensive waterborne disease. You have more than 10,000 people that become sick every year, and you have more than 1,000 people die, every year. And what is very important to understand is it's something that you could avoid. And based on the CDC study, you have more than 90% of the cases that can be not present if we correctly control the risk in the water. Okay? And controlling the risk means that you need to test the quality of the water, which means that you need to control eliminate the quantity of Legionella pneumophila in the water. And the way to do it is culture-based method. But culture-based method takes a while. It takes between 1 week to 2 weeks to obtain the results. But when you have to wait 2 weeks and you have some issue with your water, it's very complicated to manage correctly the sanitary risk. So there are really important need to have a very fast and accurate method that allow to eliminate Legionella pneumophila, as fast as possible. And it's where we are playing. So I came from academic research. So the company has been created in 2014, and it took us 7 years to develop a new way to detect and eliminate microbes as fast as possible, but always based on culture. And this is very important for us to obtain accurate results. So everybody is able to do it himself, which is crazy thing with our solution, because we have developed a solution that is easy to perform by everybody with no skills needed in microbiology. So you need our equipment. You have part of it here. So if you want, after I will explain you the way it works. And you have some standard equipment that can be, purchased everywhere. So the big advantage of our solution is that we are able to deliver results in 2 days. The second big advantage is that you don't need to be skilled in microbiology, because everything is done by the equipment. The most tricky part of the test is to be able to recognize the microbe, and this the equipment do for yourself. So we have been evaluated by third-party laboratory, and especially by the AOAC in the US. And the conclusion was a bit surprising for us, and we are very happy about that. It's indicated, and it's not what we are saying, it's what they say, but we obtain better results with our solution compared to the gold standard. So, which is fantastic. So today we have customers all around the world, and we have different type of customer. We have service provider, we have end user, and both appreciate the fact that the type results and the fact that we don't need skill to perform the test. And of course, we have also contract laboratory that are using the solution, and for them, the manpower is important. So the fact that we reduce the lab time is essential. So we have released a new solution in February 2024, allowing to perform 500 analyses per day. It's the equipment here. So far we have around 15 to 20 tests that are on the way all around the world. So in the US, in the GCC region, in Europe, and we are waiting for more and more in 2024. So if you are interested to test our solution, or if you're interested to distribute our solution, or if you are interested to invest in our company, you're welcome. And I'm finished.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, Sam, if you'd stay here, Nico can come back, and I will just give the microphone to Nico, and we'll again turn it over to questions from our reviewers.
This first question is for Sam. First of all, congrats on your AOAC PTM. For those in the room that don't know, that's very difficult. In regards to the on-site testing model, I'm kind of curious if you could talk a little bit about any market data or analysis that you've performed to support that the end client is ready for that task.
So we are not sure that all the clients are ready, but at least we have some 900 pastures.
Okay.
So, and we have installed 2 equipment. So I'm very lucky because one dot was in the middle of the sea, but I was installing the equipment in Tahiti. So,
Sure.
Which is cool. And it's university facilities that got an agreement with the French army, and they were interested to test on site.
Sure. So what I'm hearing you say there is that there's probably a good fit when it's not easy to ship water to a laboratory.
Not only because we have also a water quality company called Aquaprox in-house that have installed full equipment in a factory with many cooling towers. So they want to test internally this because in-house you have proper test every month, and it's from reach 7 threshold, you need to close everything. So in between, they test it just to avoid the possibility to have a problem.
Thank you.
It's always on for Yeah, for Nico, so the graph you showed is pretty impressive, right? The number of breaks avoided. How did you get that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when we started, of course, people are always a bit worried. Like you can show that it works with past data, but what we do to do these past study these days is, and because the water sector is risk adverse for good reason, is that we develop a model with a utility, and we tell them keep your data for a year, use a 35, use your age-based method, and then we're gonna come back in 1 year, and then you can do the comparison yourself. So you're gonna see whatever we replace. This is the recommendation from 35s, and they do the comparison by themselves, and then they can see that it was it's a objective way. So this is why we developed those case study, and then they're ready to share the data because they really see the value in that it's working. So of course it takes the time to do this thing, but this is our approach at Diamidex.
All right, thanks, Nico. I have a question, another question for Sam. Can you talk about your business model? How do you make money with this system? Do you sell assets? Is there consumables? What's the business model?
Good question. I mean, the idea is, of course, we sell the equipment, but the most important for us to sell consumables. And the idea is target laboratory that perform 100,000 analyses a year, or 10,000, in order to generate enough revenue per customer. That's the ending.
One other question for Sam. I think this might be a quick question. Besides Legionella pneumophila, what other microorganisms are you looking to measure?
Good question. So we are currently able to enumerate Legionella pneumophila, Pseudomonas aegypticosa, and also Anisectobacillus, which is a spoilage bacteria of Proteus. By end of the year, we have the called Escherichia coli, E. coli, that we will be able to deliver in 6 hours. And the most important is you use the same equipment, and it could perform 500 analyses a day in total with all these microbes. In total.
Yeah, so also for Nico, so you've got this great software package, and how does that integrate to the marketplace? Yeah, the municipality is they see your data. Is it a predictive maintenance schedule type thing, or maybe even more advanced than that?
Yeah, so our idea was really to be able to have a turnkey solution with them, because we really want to be able to work with small utilities, larger, medium. So really the idea is that we take the data, we ingest it, we structure it, then we validate that data for the utilities, and then we generate the the prediction. And then the idea is that it's usable in any format, and it's really like easy to use and implement in any decision that you need to make, but really like something that from A to Z that we're able to start from the data and generate the prediction for likelihood and consequence.
So they get this data, they instantly say, I'll get this by, we've got maybe this year, then it's just more predictive, right? So then waiting for that correct.
Exactly. So we really try to see, okay, this is where you need to go to avoid those breaks. And it's of course, it accumulates over the year, right? So the gains are really increasing.
Yeah, so Nico, I've got another question. So this notion of high prioritization of a pipe segment is really very interesting. Can you give us an example of a high priority pipe segment? And can you talk about how one might integrate that into some kind of an optimization?
Yes, it's a very good question. So I didn't show it here, but what we actually have is we have a decision matrix. So like with the utilities we work on weights on all those things because we have many more things that shutdown time, cost of repairing. Do we have a critical client? As I mentioned, there's an hospital, there's a school, and then we have a metric that is economical and social, and then we have a ranking. And then, for example, you have the rank of 25, which is the highest priority. And so we really have a ranking matrix that we generate for them to make decisions, but we develop that ranking matrix with them, which is important.
And that prioritization is in conjunction with the community itself, or you've derived it separately?
So they make the decision after, right? So for us, like what we do is that and then to estimate all those things, we use data. So we usually what we do is that we have a right to use the data, and then of course, our model is trained to the data from all the user, and then it gives a prediction to that for a shutdown time reassess.
And now I'm taking back over. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nico. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I didn't do the same thing with my notes as last time and introduce the wrong company. So it is Kadeya that is presenting next. So the last set of pitches that we'll hear from are 2 cohort members with new and unique technologies. But not only that, they have really innovative business models that they're bringing to market. So yes, we're going to come around with some visual aids. But Manuela and Kadeya has actually devised a system that provides hydration as a service. So I'm going to let her talk about what that innovative solution is and how it's going to change the world.
Thank you so much. Great to be here, everybody. So I have some bad news. We are drowning in plastic. By the time I finish this presentation, the world will have consumed over 5 million plastic water bottles. But I also have good news. Chicago-based Kadeya has designed a system that eliminates the need for single-use beverage containers forever. I'm Manuela, the CEO and founder, and I'm going to explain to you the current beverage supply chain. So we're used to seeing these trucks and shelves full of... I'll fix that later. Please. So these trucks and these shelves full of packaged beverages. But behind that is an incredibly inefficient supply chain. I've simplified to just 20 steps, what really is multiple dozens of steps to get a packaged beverage into your hands, from extracting petroleum to recycling, downcycling, and landfilling. Kadeya takes these steps, shortens, simplifies, automates, and makes them fully circular. I'll show you a video of our station in action. So you go up to the station and you self-identify through a QR code, and then you choose what beverage you want. We've got all types of flavored beverages, branded products, anything in a concentrate. In this case, Luis, my colleague, will choose a bottle of water. And then he'll check out. He can self-identify through the QR code on our app, which could be preloaded just like your Starbucks app. You can also check out by paying with a credit card or near-field communication, or totally agnostic. Then our bottle gets filled on demand in under 7 seconds. It's faster than a soda machine. You get a freshly dispensed beverage, and it's in our stainless steel bottle, infinitely reusable. We have a design patent for this. Every bottle has a laser etched QR code on the bottom to make it uniquely identifiable. So think bike sharing for bottles. When you're done, you then return the bottle to any station in the network. In this case, Luis starts a return, scans the QR code, and then we go through an initial inspection to make sure there's no debris before the system will accept the bottle, and our patented station washes, sanitizes, and refills the bottle autonomously. We're starting where hydration is an existential challenge. $30 billion US industrial customers, which is a great wedge into a $3.5 trillion market globally, which is responsible for 1.5% of global emissions. So while we're waiting for fusion, we can all start sipping sustainably with Kadeya. We started with Gilbane, a major general contractor, in their downtown Indianapolis project with one station 18 months ago, which has been revenue generating, and they've now committed to 10. And we plan to do the exact same thing, scaling across all of these incredible customers. We have 38 stations booked, implying $5 million in ARR coming up across construction, manufacturing, and then closed campus environments like the Air Force, where we've won 2 contracts, and hospitals. Our revenue model is very simple: hydration as a service. We own and operate the unit. And then if you go up to the station, choose a bottle of water, that's free to you, and your employer pays. We're at parity with wholesale bottled water. If you want to upgrade your beverage, call it a Gatorade, you then pay just like you would at a vending machine or a Micromart or the gas station. We have a path to $400 million in revenue by 2028 with fewer than 7,000 stations deployed. And I'm really excited to show also the potential bottles that we'll avert going forward. Unit economics, we deliver software-like margins with hardware stickiness. I'll highlight quickly our 79% gross margins and gross profit per station over 5 years of $470,000. We have multiple exits under our belts. Liz has taken 3 hardware companies to exit. Denis has taken 2 hardware companies to exit. I was most recently at Palantir Technologies, which exited. And we are in our pre-seed. We've actually hit our target of $1.5 million, but I've extended that $500,000. If anybody's interested in investing, we'll accept it for a short time. Damn. When Kadeya attains mass adoption, we will eliminate plastic bottles. We'll ensure access to great quality water. And we're building a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So join me as we eliminate the need for single-use beverage packaging forever, for everyone, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So our final presenter will be Greg with ShowerStream. And Greg is going to talk to us. Well, maybe you're going to restore.
I think we'll do it.
Okay. All right. So he's going to talk to us about his really unique business model about preventing water and energy wastage in hotels for showers. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Karen. And thank you all for coming. I'm Greg Floyd. I'm the founder and CEO of ShowerStream, and we're building smarter showers for hotels. So today I want to start by showing you a graph that wasn't made by me. It was made by one of our customers, Extended Stay America. Extended Stay America believes they will save over $11 million a year using our product. And that's annual net recurring savings after our fee. But let me start at the beginning. How are we creating value for brands like Extended Stay America? Well, hotel operators have a problem. Their guests waste a lot of water, and they waste a lot of water in the shower in particular. So I want to get a little bit nerdy with you right now and break down the typical hotel guest shower. So to start with, the hotel guest will turn the shower on at the handles, and on average, it takes about 20 seconds for the water to heat up. Typically, the guest does not enter the shower right away. Instead, on average, they'll leave the shower empty for about 2 minutes. Typically, what they're doing is multitasking, like brushing their teeth or using the restroom or using the toilet, all while hot water is running down the drain. Then the guest does enter the shower and bathe for 8 minutes on average, as you would expect. So the cost of this 2 minutes of waste amounts to $10 per room monthly at the typical hotel. And there's a twist. It turns out that 1% of hotel showers are on for over 4 hours. We call these excessive waste events. And they include behaviors like guests who use the hotel shower to steam the wrinkles out of their clothes. Okay, we got some takers. And also guests who use their hotel shower as white noise. They'll leave it on for hours and hours on end to block out the noise maybe from the street or from the hotel room next door or whatever the case may be. So $15 of total waste may not seem like a huge issue, but just get my slide back. Aggregated across the entire US hotel market, it adds up to an enormous problem. Over $10 billion of hot water wasted every single year. So we invented ShowerStream to solve this problem. ShowerStream is, thank you, Karen. ShowerStream is an elegant motion-activated rainfall showerhead that saves hotels millions. We're providing luxury showers for economy hotels. And our web-connected platform proves to hotel owners that they'll save $2 for every dollar they spend. Now let me show you how it works. The number one feature of ShowerStream is that there are no features. Guests just shower like they always have. It simply automates the savings with no guest interaction required. So first, a hotel guest will turn the shower on at the handles, and cold water will start running initially, like always. Once the water is warm and the shower is unoccupied, ShowerStream automatically pauses the flow of water. All the guest has to do is get close. Think like a motion-sensitive door, like step on the bath mat or open the shower curtain, and ShowerStream will resume at full flow automatically. It's that simple. We only stop the flow of water if the guest isn't using it. And embedded inside of every ShowerStream showerhead are sensors which measure every drop of hot water saved. Imagine the typical 300-room hotel with ShowerStream in every bathroom. All that savings is aggregated up to our easy-to-use hotel analytics platform, where we prove the savings to our hotel owners every single month. We also provide hotel operators alerts, including scalding water alerts, lukewarm or cold shower alerts, or clogged shower alerts, and so much more. At the franchise level for large brands like ESA or Hyatt, the analytics gets much more advanced. So it's no surprise that hotels love us. In fact, we've run successful pilots with 5 large hotel brands. That's over 10,000 unique showers taken with 0 guest complaints. And we're really proud of the last one. That 0, we're very proud of. We've collected over $750,000 of pilot revenue to date. And so now all of the brands that we piloted with so far have joined our waitlist to install ShowerStream across their hotels. And hotels are just the start. We plan on using hotels as a beachhead into all markets, which represents a massive opportunity. But if you just look at the 5 brands on our waitlist, it's 1.2 million rooms times our annual $120 price per year gives us a clear path to over $100 million ARR just from the first 5 customers on our waitlist alone. We've grown our revenue 50% last year to this year, and now we're seeking $1 million to fund existing customer orders and unblock that waitlist. So we have a world-class team behind all this. We would love for you to join us as we build the world's first smart shower for hotels. Thank you.
Well, of course, I'd love to invite Manuela back to the stage, and we're going to go into our final question time with our reviewers, and we'll take us out.
First question for Manuela. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose the industrial workplace as your beachhead?
Absolutely. So we started in the middle of COVID, and we needed to find places where people were going to go no matter what. And what we've realized since is these are places where people work on their feet, not on their seats. As a result, they need hydration to do their jobs. And the employer recognized that. The employer already has a budget line item for water, and we are at parity with what they are already spending. So we're not adding any additional cost. And then it turns out what we're solving in those environments is a logistics problem. First and foremost, we eliminate an entire headache of remembering to restock jugs and flip them over or get, pallets of bottles of water. And then there's the nice unlock of worker health and safety with a lot of predictive and dynamic recommendations to prevent dehydration events.
But
For Greg, I'm curious your revenue model. So are you selling this shower head and then the subscription service, or are you giving away the shower head? How does it comes out?
Oh yeah, thanks Jesse for the question. Currently, we're offering the hardware for free. We have a few packages, but our average selling price is $10 per room per month for the typical hotel.
So, question for Greg. I mean, you got cash flow on this thing. Why are you looking for the additional investment?
Okay, yeah, thanks for asking. So, the pilots, we've been in the R&D phase really for the last 4 or 5 years now doing these pilots. So each pilot has represented a major technology upgrade or a prototype upgrade. And now we're ready to scale commercially. What we need to do is improve the unit economics of our current device. It's a little bit too expensive. Right now we have about a 3-year payback, at our $10 per month price point. And I think we have line of sight to, improve that dramatically. So if we were to just scale the manufacturing now, out of control, I think our costs would overrun pretty quickly. So what we want to do is in parallel, build up those case studies with our kind of overbuilt, over-engineered device that unfoldings. And then at the same time, lower the unit economics so that we can go high volume.
Got it. So experience curve related effects.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Sorry. So experience curve, you're relying on experience curve.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah.
Yes. And the short answer is to ramp manufacturing quickly. We do have cash, but it's not enough to ramp our manufacturing. That's what we need.
Another question for Manuela. On the subject of unit economics, can you talk about how your product compares to the status quo?
Yeah, there's a few ways to break that down. We try to focus on the per bottle basis, like that bottle of water. We are actually on a per bottle basis, a third less expensive to whoever is the owner operator of the vending machine, the micro mart, the gas station, the supermarket shelf. So we're saving a lot of money across the supply chain thanks to our efficiency.
Okay.
Yeah, also for Manuela. So to scale this, across the U.S., across the globe, are you looking at channel partners, and what does that look like? Is it the typical soda distributors, or how do you envision it?
Yeah, great question. So of the 30 units we've got booked, 10 are going to Compass Group, and we've been batting away the other food and beverage service providers to just focus on that relationship. They see us as a one-to-one replacement to a vending machine or a micro mart. So they're already going into these work environments. They're restocking the fridge with the sandwiches and the chip shelf. Now they go in and they're doing this for an hour with bottles in a fridge. And with Kadeya, they now once a week at most have to restock the bag and box. So we're helping to optimize their existing labor, bring down that cost for them, and hopefully over time optimize the top line for them as well. And then they get to have this great sustainability story that I haven't really even talked about. And we don't talk about it with customers. They want us just for the logistics and the worker safety piece.
So I see a data play on the back end of both of these. Could each one of you take 30 seconds or whatever and talk about what the data value might be with each one of these systems?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Bill. So one of the biggest values of our platform is it provides a moat, like a technology moat for us, because it's deeply integrated into hotel operations. Hotel guests can go online and buy a shower stream for their home, but we're really targeting hotels. So a lot of the things that we've built into our data platform go far beyond just the directly metered savings that we generate and dramatically lower hotel maintenance costs. So we can also do things like automate scheduling for the showers to make sure they're run to help prevent some of the microbial problems that other teams have talked about. And at scale, so like Extended Stay for America, for example, it is not a franchise model. They own 65,000 rooms centrally, and they try to operate them kind of from one headquarters. So we're able to provide analytics across, their entire brand, and we think there's a lot of value there and sort of a defensible moat.
Yeah, I'll be quick. So right now we're not focused on selling the data, but we've been building out from the beginning We have what has never existed before in consumer packaged goods, which is direct individual attribution of consumption across the entire trajectory of the customer. So Coca-Cola right now is blind past the retailer. They know they sold it to Walmart and that's all they know. And they maybe can buy some data from Walmart, but they don't know user ABC versus XYZ and what their historical consumption patterns were. Kadeya does that direct attribution. I call it final foot data. That's going to open up a huge variety of potential value props and revenue streams. We're starting with safety recommendations and notifications to prevent OSHA issues. But we're really interested in health insurance potential, integration with doctors and medical systems. We all track our steps, our sleep, our heart rate. No one knows about our water consumption, and we need water first before anything else. Before your calories, we need to know water. So step trackers for water, essentially. And then that gets into selling data to the beverage companies and a variety of other applications as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I hope that that you all got as much insight and excitement from these companies as I have had working with all of them for the past 4 months. So what we have next is just, we would love to invite you to the reception that we're going to have on the rooftop. So don't go away. We have hospitality for you, and all of our presenters will be there. And I know that they will love to talk with you and hear what you have to say. And that's why you all are in the room, is to have these matchmaking connections and to be able to share your thoughts and experience as well. So thank you so much for being here and for joining us for this wonderful Demo Day event. And we would like to invite you to the rooftop. Thank you so much.